Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. I hope today's video finds you well. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest release, a brand new release by the company Dolce Gabbana, and this one is called Light Blue Sun. So stay tuned. This fragrance was released in 2019, just this year. As a matter of fact, I think it came out this month as well, in March. The original came out back in 2007. A year later, it won a Fifi Award, a Fragrance Foundation Award. And the original is a fragrance that is a staple in many people's collection. I actually own a bottle of it as well. I have many of its associated flankers. A lot of them are named after parts of Italy that are found along the southern coast. This one is simply entitled Sun. And so Sun sort of conveys a bright, airy, sort of hot feel. And so presumably this is a fragrance to be worn in the summer. I do pick up on some notes in there that would sort of evoke the feeling of summer. And I'm excited to tell you what those notes are and whether I think this is a worthwhile flanker. But let's start things off very quickly by taking a closer look at the presentation. So the box for this fragrance is very nice. Just says Dolce & Gabbana light blue on the front with the Sun logo on it. And it also says Sun at the bottom. At the very bottom is where you'll find your serial number punched into the box on the bottom right-hand corner if you're looking to authenticate your purchase. The bottle for this one is recognizably similar to the original light blue released in 2007 in all of its flankers, with the exception that the juice inside comes across as rather gold. The cap for this one does click into place very securely. You can pick this one up from the cap. The distribution on the atomizer for this one is nice and wide. Let's continue with the smell. Now, as soon as this fragrance opens up, you will inevitably pick up on a lot of the familiar elements that are also found in the original Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, which came out back in 2007. That is a fragrance that I do own. I actually own what was once referred to as the poor man's version of it, which is Realities by Liz Claiborne, but a closer side-by-side reveals that they are indeed quite different. This one, on the other hand, is one that I was kind of excited to purchase just because, yes, I do have some of the other flankers, although I think with the Swimming in Lipari, the Discover Volcano, a lot of them had differences that were, in my opinion at least, negligible. And so there are a lot from the collection that I ended up not purchasing. And so even the one that came out last year, I didn't go out there and pick it up. I thought about it. I was in Macy's and I was like, do I buy this? But I decided to not purchase it. I smelled this one in Macy's when my Macy's sales rep gave me a call about a week ago, and I went there to pick it up. And he told me that he picked up on a few distinct notes in the mid of the fragrance. And once I actually put it on skin and I wore it for about a week, I realized that he wasn't playing. He wasn't lying. And so this fragrance, I guess, in a disparity to the original, this one actually has coconut and it has osmanthus. And what I think those two notes do is that, so they take the freshness of the original, right? So the original was rather fresh. It had a lot of bergamot. It had a lot of grapefruit, although I don't think that the grapefruit in here is an overly natural grapefruit, something similar to the grapefruit that used to be found in Coach for Men, which is now discontinued, unfortunately. So it doesn't have that tartness and that sort of bitter aspect to it. It actually comes across very versatile, very wearable, although my wife would say that it also smells a little salty, and I'm going to get to that in a little bit. So it opens up with this fresh, aromatic, rosemary, ozonic feel. And then in the mid, you pick up on a little bit of this osmanthus note, which I always kind of akin to the smell of pear, but almost like a floral, tropical, exotic type of a feel. It also has a little bit of coconut in here, which surprisingly enough, kind of, and this is just my nose, right? This kind of reminds me of the smell of your skin after you've applied sunblock, like hours later. And so you have a little bit of that salty nuance that you got from swimming in the water, and then a little bit of the remnants of that sunblock or that suntan lotion that you applied on your skin, which often gives this sort of tropical coconutty feel. And it's a smell that I actually really, really enjoy. And so when I smelled this one, I saw that yes, it does smell similar to the 2007 light blue version, but it has some added notes in here that make it recognizably different. And I think that that's one of the things that I really appreciated about this one and why I eventually pulled the trigger and decided to purchase this bottle. My Macy's sales rep correlates a lot of what I'm saying. He actually agrees with me. He finds it to be on the fresh side. My wife, on the other hand, really likes the smell, but there's a lot of salty fragrances that she says give her a headache. And so, not to say that this one gave her a headache, but she says to me, this smells like the type of fragrance that would give me a headache. And so just keep that in mind. You must be a fan of fragrances that do lead a little bit on the salty side, but all in all, I do find this to be a very pleasant fragrance. So this is a fragrance that I will surely be wearing this summer when the weather gets to be a little bit nicer outside. And this way, when I do smell it 1, 2, 3 years from now, it will remind me of the summer of 2019. I think it's a solid release. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, one could argue this isn't a totally unique scent, and yes, I would agree with you. I do think this smells a lot like the 2007 version. However, if you are a fan of the freshness and the spiciness, because there is a little bit of black pepper in there, and that aromatic presence that you do get in the 2007 version, this one mimics it to a certain degree, but also adds this creamy tropical vibe to it that is light with an overtone of salt. And so if that sounds pleasant to you, I think you ought to go out there, at the very least, check it out, put your own nose on it. Obviously, I am not an advocate of blind buying. In the 1,000 plus videos that I have on my YouTube channel, I have never once advocated blind buying. So go out there, try it for yourself, see if you like it, and if you do, hey, purchase it like I did. In terms of the longevity, it was okay. I got about 6 hours with this one. Projection was solid for the first 2 hours. At like the 5-hour mark, it became a skin scent. Versatility on this one is very, very good. I think although it is marketed for men, hey, if you're a woman and you like how it smells, by all means, please wear it. Don't let anybody stop you. Although I do think this one is worn best in the hotter weather, as if the image and the name didn't give that away already. And I do think this bears more of a casual vibe. This isn't necessarily a fragrance that I would wear when I'm dressed up in a suit and tie like I am right now. But this is one that I would definitely think will gather people's attention, and it's a compliment getter for sure. And in terms of the presentation, I like that they deviated away from naming their fragrances after popular locations in Italy and just gave it a more transparent name like Sun that kind of sends the message across, and it puts people in a certain frame of mind. And so I really, really enjoy that one. And so my final verdict on this scent is I actually really like this one. I've been reviewing a lot of designer scents lately. A lot of them have really resonated with me. Some I just didn't like. And so sometimes you do have to tell it like it is. But this is one where I find it to be really pleasant. I think they took it in an interesting direction. My wife actually really kind of likes this one as well. I'm not in love with it, but it's such a practical and pragmatic scent. It really makes my life easier. It's a dumb reach. It's a fragrance that I can just reach for. I can put it on. I can wear it. I know I smell good. It gives me confidence, and sometimes that's what it ought to be about. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of the new Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Sun. If you own or have tried this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button in the corner. This way, whenever I do upload future fragrance-related videos, they will get delivered straight to your feed. You never need to worry about missing any of my future content, and that does include reviews like this, giveaways, unboxings, top 10 videos, and a whole lot of other fragrance-related content. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.